Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. And welcome to your Moon and Cancer transit video for this lunar cycle. And the topic of this Moon and Cancer is relentless faith. And I knew it had something to do with faith, but literally right before I, pressed record, relentless was the word that came to mind. And I love that for this transit because with all these energies that are happening right now, this Moon in Cancer is going to be very, very important. Why? Well, let's drill down a bit. This Moon in Cancer is going to be trining all of this Pisces energy. So it's going to trine Neptune on Friday. It's going to trine Mercury and the Sun on Sunday. Not only that, Saturday, but also on Saturday, it's going to be opposing all that energy in Capricorn. It's going to oppose Pluto, it's going to oppose Saturn, it's going to oppose the South Node, and conjunct the North Node. The other interesting thing about this is that this is going to be the first lunar transit through Cancer with some major shifting energies. Chiron has now fully ingressed into Aries, so it'll make that square. And Uranus has fully ingressed into Taurus, so we'll get the sextile with that energy. Right now, with everything that's happening, especially with all this Piscean energy, there is so much that's up in the air right now. You can feel like there's so much that's up in the air. You can feel like you don't really know where to go. You can feel like, is this going to work out? There can be the mindfuckery of this Pisces season is pretty intense. It really has been, where you were literally all over the place. There'll be one day where you were completely blissed out and full of joy, and another day where you were just down, sunken deep into the ocean, and there's no treasure there. And I think a lot of people are pissed off right now because they believe that it's by going to the depths of the ocean that they will find sunken treasure, and they were promised that if they went there that they would find sunken treasure, and people have either voluntarily dived to the bottom of the ocean, or they just kept maybe even sabotaging themselves, or they even went there to face their demons and their shadows and to confront these deeper aspects of ourselves, these darker aspects of ourselves that we keep hidden, that we keep in the subconscious. And these aren't bad things. They are simply misunderstood. They are simply unseen. And people are pissed because they've gone to these places and they have been promised treasure, and the treasure hasn't manifested, or it's manifesting very slowly. It's like, instead of finding a treasure chest of jewels, they find a very small treasure chest with one jewel in it. And then that treasure chest is like, you'll find the next jewel if you go over here. And then you got to swim over to another area. And then you got to swim over to another area until you finally accumulate it. Or what's happening is that people have to alter their perception and realize that they are the treasure. This Moon in Cancer is going to be very interesting because it's going to offer us a very unique position to heal at a great capacity. Because especially with these energies that are fully ingressed now, especially with Chiron having fully ingressed into Aries now, which is of course dealing with the self, and now we're going to be healing the self. And with that square, we're really going to come up to our first challenge officially with this squaring energy. How do we feel about who we are and what we've become at this point? How do we really feel about it and how we act on it? And then with the sextile to Uranus and Taurus is going to be talking about what are the conversations that we are having, and how do these conversations lend to what we manifest? What kind of people do we find ourselves with? What are our surroundings? What does our everyday reality look like? How do we value ourselves? How do other people value us? This Moon in Cancer is going to really call into question your level of faith. It really is, because after this it's going to go into Leo, and of course oppose Venus. It's going to go into Virgo, and then we'll trine the Earth energy, and it'll trine Uranus. And then we'll get that full moon in Libra, which is going to be on the solstice, which is going to be a very powerful shift that everybody's going to feel. Everybody's going to feel that shift. But we still have to get through these remaining few days. And this moment in Cancer, which Cancer representing the first water sign, the first water house, is cardinal water. So it's the first moment where we're able to actually comb over our feelings about our situation and about life, and then we act on it and we begin to direct our life based off of how we feel. That's Cancer energy. It can be a very healing energy, but suppressed and also the underdeveloped Cancer energy can also be very, very cold, and it can hurt because you're a crab and you'll just reach out and you'll pinch people without even really realizing it if you're unconscious about it. Your faith, beloved, must be stronger. Your faith must be relentless, because right now it is hard to conceive on how all of this is going to turn out. You have a dream, you have a purpose, you have a legacy that you will achieve, that you will leave behind, and you will affect many people. And people look up to you. People look up to you even if you don't realize it. No matter, I don't care how much money you have or how little you have. I don't care what kind of car you drive. If you have a house or you live in a box, there's somebody that looks up to you. There's somebody that cares for you. There's somebody that has a deep empathy for you. But in order for you to know that and perceive it, you must feel it for yourself. So you must give yourself the opportunity to heal and to really tap into this unrelentless faith. Unrelentless faith is faith when everything seems like it's fucking up. Everything seems like it's just going wrong. Not only are things just totally illogical right now, but it's just hard to really even get a footing. And things are moving slow too. This is going to be a little bit longer of a transit video because I feel like this moon in Cancer is so freaking important. It's so important. Especially with the aspect it's making to Chiron and Uranus. Because this is taking this energy about really how do we feel about ourselves and how and where we are right now. And do we accept who we are? But at the same time, in accepting who we are in this moment, will we allow ourselves to change? Will we allow ourselves to feel those emotions that we don't want to feel, the emotions that we clam up, that we shove behind, that we shove into the shoebox and throw it in our closet and forget about it? Do we have the courage to feel those emotions and to process them healthily? Like from a healthy stance, do we have that ability? Unrelentless faith in the face of when, and I'm not trying to make this sound all like super down and negative, because there are a lot of beautiful things that are happening right now. There are a lot of positive things that are happening right now. But everybody in some way is feeling completely defeated in some area of their life. And I'm here to tell you is that with that defeat comes great triumph. With that defeat comes the greatest breakthrough that you could have never imagined. But it's going to take some time to develop. It really is. I want to read to you all 24 Degrees of Cancer from my Inside the Degrees by Elias Lonsdale. And I also have two cards that I drew. First, I'm going to read this to you all. This is 24 Degrees of Cancer. This is where the North Node will be when the moon conjuncts it. And this will be on Saturday. It says, a single crumbling Corinthian column. This is also, by the way, one of the shortest descriptions I've seen in this book, which lets me know how precise it actually is. The inward temple held in tune, sitting in celestial juices, beheld by the gods as a pillar of light, defiant of time's cycles, invested with the life pulse immortal, as serene and effortless as it is constant and true, making way for what cannot be foreseen, making way for what cannot be foreseen, and giving voice to a sensibility that is entirely pregnant with worlds within worlds held intact and offered up upon the altar of the world stage. You are feeling emotions right now that is hard to describe in words. The only way to really process this is through dreams, mainly through dreams right now especially, and to just kind of just go through it. This is an energy where you just have to go through it, but your faith has to be unrelentless. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to really believe in yourself. Like, you really have to believe in yourself. I don't care how you view yourself. I don't care if you think that you are the most unworthy person. You have to really, really, really believe in yourself right now, because you are a pillar of light, held in the highest esteem. Held in the highest esteem. And nobody can take that away from you. The only person that can take that away from you is yourself. And that's only a perception. That's only a lie that we sometimes play on ourselves. Or we allow ourselves to succumb to these otherworldly forces that try and tell us that we are not worthy. But your faith must be unrelentless in this moment. And how interesting are the cards that I drew. I got Perception and I got Gaia. I'm not even going to read the descriptions here, but Perception, this is definitely speaking to that Piscean energy right now, you know, because it's on the axis of perception. The mutable signs, it's all about perception. And then you have this Gaia energy, which is definitely speaking to this Uranian quality and the fact that Uranus is now in Taurus. So we have to understand that based off of how you feel about yourself and what action that you take, whatever it is that you're manifesting right now, with the Uranus going into Taurus, with that sextile that's happening, which is kicking off this transit, you have to understand, the sex is one part of the equation. Creating the baby and then birthing it is a whole nother thing. Right now, people want to speed up the process of this pregnancy. People want to speed up the process of whatever it is that they're trying to manifest. It's like you can't just have sex and then the baby just pops out the next day. That's not how it works. There's a process. There's a process. There's layers to this shit, man. There's layers to this shit. Right now, we are being inundated with so many waves of energy. So there's layers to this shit that we have to process. And the only way that we're going to be able to really process this in the most beneficial way is to have this unrelenting faith and trust in ourselves. And this unrelenting faith and trust that whatever it is that you want to call it, spirit, the soul, God, goddess, source perspective, whatever it is, what that is for you, your faith and trust in that must be unrelentless, and that it will provide for you. Guaranteed will provide for you. That is it for this reading, this Moon in Cancer transit video. Hope you all enjoyed it. And this is an added measure. I'm just going to place my hand on my heart, and you can do this as well. And I'm going to just take 3 deep breaths in. I love you all so much. Y'all take care and have a lovely Moon in Cancer transit. Ah!